What's up, guys? Welcome to Nintendo Power Block, episode 148. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Derrigan. Alongside me, as always, is that retro code, Eddie B.
Corey, go to the left. To the left. No. Hi, everybody.
What do you mean? No. Oh, right. Yeah, that's right. We'll talk about what we've been playing, but we started recording our new YouTube series, so it's been let's just say it's been this week made me realize how bad at video games I really was. No Jesse this week. He's got some friends that he doesn't get to see very often in town, so we're the dynamic duo this week. Ed's the Luigi to my Mario, if you will, this week.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's been an interesting week. Also, if you're watching, you notice a little bit of a setup because Skype sucks. We're just gonna put it that way. And as I say that, I realize that Ed, you're like right in the smack dab middle of the thing. So, because like how I usually record is like I have you guys right under my webcam, so it looks like I'm looking at you guys.
Yeah.
And I didn't move it, so now for the first like 2 minutes of the episode, if you're watching it, it's just a little picture of Ed that's like this big right in the center of the screen. It's all right. I don't care. I'm not fixing it. Got too many other things to do and talk about. A lot of big news this week, Ed.
Yes.
But before we get into that news, I want to get into a little bit of this housekeeping real quick. Remember, you can catch the show every Tuesday at 7 a.m. Eastern Time on your podcast of choice and on youtube.com/Nintendo Power Block and on ngrradio.com in video form. You can download it on your podcast service of choice. In a couple weeks, I'm changing our podcast service feed provider so we can get Nintendo Power Block on Spotify. So if you are a Spotify member, look for us in a couple weeks. I'm trying to figure out the best plan of action to go about this, but you'll be able to find us on Spotify within the next month or so. So pretty excited about that. Also, you can join our Facebook page, facebook.com/groups/Nintendo Power Block. Yeah, man, I can't get over what we just did this week. I'm thinking about it while I'm talking about it, and because I know we're going to talk about it. And it's just like, you can follow us on Twitter at Nintendo_PBlock, and also at that on Instagram. And for episode 150, we're going to start streaming it live on Twitch on Saturdays. So you can go to twitch.tv/NGRradio or twitch.tv/CoreyInHD, which will be hosted there as well. I'm very excited to start live streaming this show.
Yes.
So I'm trying to trying to get us live, you know. It gets good interaction with the fans and stuff. So
yes,
I'm trying to be quiet too because my baby is sleeping. So if I sound tired, I'm not tired. I'm just trying to be quiet because my baby is sleeping. So a little bit more housekeeping for you. Nindy Showcase Season 2 has wrapped. Guacamelee 2 for the finale. It's been a good season. So Season 2 is now on demand as well as Season 1. You can go back and check out all the great indies we think you should be playing on your Nintendo Switch console.
Yes.
Pod and Play season... What season is it? 4. Season 4? Yeah, Season 4 starts on Saturday on ngrradio.com. So we encourage you to go there and check it out. I'm very excited that we're kicking it off with Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I'm very excited. That game is on sale everywhere right now, by the way. So if you own a non-Nintendo console, you should go purchase that game because it is very, very good.
And a lot of people have started playing that game.
I know, because it's on GamePass also. So if you have Xbox and you have GamePass, this is a good month for GamePass, by the way. Crackdown 3 and Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and there's one other kind of high-profile game that just hit Game Pass as well this week. So, yeah, good time to have Game Pass.
Yes.
Yeah. Also, by the way, our Best of Nerds Gone Rogue episode is live. Something I've been working on for a couple months, and it just kind of reflects on the first 130 episodes or so of Nerds Gone Rogue proper, and Matt and I kind of talk over it and have little interstitials, and Ed and Jesse have a little part in there as well. So, Ed, I tried to thank you on the show, but you've been a big part of Nerds Gone Rogue's growth and our expansion, if you will. So
Thank you.
I really appreciate you. You know that, but I know I don't say it enough. So yeah, that's about it for housekeeping. Oh, lastly, we're giving away Yoshi's Crafted World for Nintendo Switch.
Yes.
So you need to screen cap your subscription, and then you need to tweet at us at Nintendo_PBlock with your favorite Nintendo memory, or go to our Facebook page, Facebook group, I should say, facebook.com/groups/Nintendo PowBlock, and post your screen cap and favorite Nintendo memory there. We're trying to build our community, and what better way to do that than to send you where our communities are. So
Yes.
yeah. Anyways, we're gonna get into what we've been playing. Do you want to get this out of the way, Ed?
Let's save it for last.
Okay. All right. What have you been playing this week, Ed?
Okay, so I have been playing some stuff for PlayStation and Xbox, but I'll talk about that on AX for that episode, so you guys will be able to check that out. For Switch, I started up Final Fantasy IX.
Yes.
And
yes,
it's still one of the greatest Final Fantasy games that I play. I love 7, love 12, love 10. Soon jumping into 15 on Xbox
no love
One.
For 8?
8 I respect. It has a lot of questionable content, but I respect 8.
You're just not a fan of the junction system, are you?
Oh no, I do not like that junction
That's
system
what everybody
at
hates
all.
about
Ooh.
that game.
But there's something I kind of wrote. I think I wrote a blog about this in the past, but I've talked about my connection to Final Fantasy IX, and it's because of Vivi in this game. And I never got to finish Final Fantasy IX. Sadly, I think I still own the original PlayStation 1 version. I have it on PlayStation 4, and I had to get it on Switch. So my goal is to play through this whole game on Switch, beat it, kind of as an NX challenge for people who want to see it that way. But every time I see Vivi, I fall in love back in with him as a character, because I love the story and the stuff that he goes through. And I was just like, I could relate so much to it. So, but I love the gameplay and everything. It's very kooky. It's very old school Final Fantasy. And I just love it. I kind of started also practicing. I'm not going to fully play it until it comes to that time. But I started up Super Mario Brothers 2. And I know it's weird saying it, and I wish that I could go and kind of change the controls due to the fact that this is a 4-button control setup, but it's really only 2 buttons that you use on the game. I'm not rusty. I still got it, but it's going to be challenging in the future because of a certain way that I'm going to be going about the game with a certain person, I should say. And it's going to be up to this person to sorry about that, everybody, to let me know what I should do. And the reason why I say that is that because of Super Mario Bros. 2, you get to change up the characters, Mario, Luigi, Toad, and Princess. And I did most of the game with Princess in a certain way. So I'm going to put the hands into this person that is going to choose my character. So whatever this person says about who I should play with on that level is who I'm going to play with. And that part is going to be the new challenge for me. So I really cannot wait for that. I will be jumping back into Fire Emblem, playing a little bit more Daemon X Machina before I, actually be done with the demo. And I still stand by my statement about the flying. Don't get me wrong. Anthem has great flying for that game. I still like the flying in Daemon X Machina. Like I said, it's a personal thing for me. And I really cannot wait for this game. I think I have to tweet to Nintendo of America about it is that because I was watching the direct again, and I kind of just like, yeah, fix the frame rate and probably add a button to drop your character from flying. I know Jesse mentioned that, and I'm just like, that part I do agree. So hopefully, and I think this game may get a delay because of the feedback, and I would be fine with it if it does. So, but yeah, that's pretty much what I've been playing. And I didn't really get anything for the eShop this week, due to the fact that I picked up Anthem. And actually got a $10 gift card for Target, so I'll be using that toward my purchase for Yoshi's Woody World, Crafted World. Because I'm not just outright buy the Division 2, so I don't need my gift cards to use. But Yoshi, yes.
Nice. Anything else you've been playing?
No, just getting my list for NG Arcade. Getting that together. Actually,
new show coming this summer. Subscribe. YouTube.com/NintendoPowBlock.
Yes, I have. I have 2 games in my list. One of the games everybody probably could guess what it is. But I'm adding it to my arcade for it, and then there's just more I gotta just end up buying for it. Sadly, I'm going to actually be jumping between some consoles with this. Sorry about that. But I got notification from us from someone who works at Sony about one of my favorite arcades coming. And if it comes to PlayStation 4, the arcade version, I am definitely buying it. And I hope that it drops this Tuesday, if what was said, because it is one of my favorite games that I beat on the NES, but always ran to Aladdin Castle to put my tokens in and play. And it is a Data East game, so I cannot wait. Once it drops, I'm definitely buying it. So, and you guys will probably be seeing that for NG Arcade. So yes.
Can't wait, dude. I'm excited to see NG Arcade for real. It's gonna be cool. I can't wait to see all that happening. So
yes,
can't wait, dude. Just the new shows for Nintendo Power Block are finally coming together, you know. But speaking of what we've been playing, I've been playing a little War Groove. It's getting really tough. That campaign is it's getting tough, just because like sometimes when I'm playing in handheld mode, sometimes it's tough to like see which units are which units, you know, just because they're all kind of like these brightly colored units and stuff. And but it's really fun. It's really challenging. It's a lot of fun. You know, it's if you like that tactics based style strategy game, you should pick it up. It's only $15, I want to say.
Yeah.
So if you have a Switch, or even if you don't have a Switch, which I don't know why you're listening to this show if you do, but I mean, well, if you're a Nintendo fan, I guess you should be listening to it anyway. But yeah, man, it's a good one. It's crossplay with Xbox and PC, so you can download all those levels too and play your friends on other consoles and stuff too. So, which makes what we're going to talk about even more exciting when we get there. But the other game I've been really playing a lot actually is Tetris 99.
Yes, same here.
I am so mad right now at Tetris 99 because it said like I was looking, because it tells you what place you're in. I was down to the final 2. Dude, I've gotten second place 17 times. 17 times. And I was playing and it said place for like 1, and the game ended. I was like, did I just win? And it put me in second place. I'm like, and I was at the top, so like, I mean, it was really close, but you can see all the other players on the screen and see like,
yes,
like they were clearly at the top too, so it was like super close, right? And man, dude, I was this close to getting first place. Come
on, Boss, you could do it.
I know, man. I was so mad. I was so mad, man. I just was like, why? why? So, but Tetris 99 is eating up a lot of my time. Also, I've returned to some of the games that kind of got patches and stuff for the for the Nintendo Direct last week.
Yeah.
And so I've been playing a little bit of Captain Toad. Captain Toad, just kind of, it's one of those games where like I can pop in and do like 1 or 2 levels and be like, all right, I'm gonna put this down now, you know?
Yes.
I'm about maybe halfway through New Super Mario Brothers U. So that game continues to be fantastic. And then I finally dipped back into Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle because I'm determined to beat that game because I feel like Mario plus Rabbids 2 is coming at some point.
Yeah, it has to.
It has to, dude. That's one of their best-selling games. So that's kind of what I've been playing. But you know, this whole week has been kind of been taken up by finalizing the best of episode for Nerds Gone Rogue. So I've been trying to play stuff, and then you know this past week and a half has been a big week for Xbox players too. So
yeah,
you know, with Crackdown and Anthem, and still playing Apex Legends. So, but I mean, we'll talk about that on Arsenal X. But I have a lot of thoughts about a lot of these games. So
that's everybody tune into AX because it's discussion time, and what we're going to be discussing is going to be big. Yeah.
So I mean, it was a good week for that too. I've really been enjoying myself playing. Oh, also Assassin's Creed Odyssey on PS4 was on sale, so you know, but we'll talk about that later. But
yes,
yeah, man, it's been a fun week. It's been a really stressful week for that best of show. Just trying to get everything together because like because what I did was like I had all the parts right. It's a 4-hour long show, right? But I had it split into 3 sections, right? I had it like episodes 1 through like 50 through 99, and then 100 through 130, right? As 3 different things. So, and then Matt and I recorded something a couple weeks ago for it that I would like cut. You know, I've been cutting pieces into the show.
Yes,
kind of be like interstitials, and then you know everybody kind of recorded their own thing for the show too to kind of bring it all together. And you know, some fans, you know, obviously everybody involved with Nerds Gone Rogue, and just waiting on those pieces and trying to put it all together at the last second was like, man, it was stressful. And then I wanted it done by Thursday so I could send it to Matt so he could give it a listen to make, because like when you've been listening to this for a month and a half straight, you know, like sometimes you don't pick. It's kind of like writing when you're like, okay, I'm writing this, but sometimes there's big mistakes and you need somebody to proofread it, right? And it's just like I wanted Matt to listen to it, so I uploaded a private video and let Matt listen to it, and he told me it was perfect and good to go. So I was like, all right, good, publish. So
that's me and Jason with the writing thing. I write now and send it to him, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I want to get, because like I want to get a group chat for just the writers for NGR and kind of talk about that too in terms of like reviews and everything. Kind of, I want to get everybody on the same page, you know, in terms of like review scores, how we're going to review games, that kind of thing. So that I mean, that's behind whatever. I'm sure people are really thrilled for a Nintendo podcast to hear our behind the scenes stuff.
Future NGR behind the scenes stuff here, right?
Yeah. So anyways, yeah, that's kind of all I've been playing though. I was like, dude, when I got to clear my hard drive on my laptop, I was just like, thank God, because like three separate times editing this video, it says your hard drive space is low. I'm like, I know, shut up. And then like the last couple things from people, I needed to download them, and it was like, you do not have enough hard drive space, and it was like an 8 gig video. I'm like, jeez. So man, it was
entertaining.
Sure. So that's kind of what I've been up to this week, but we're going to get into this news, Ed. There's been a lot
before we get into the news though. let's address the one thing.
Oh, right. Right. So, I forgot. Totally forgot already. So, upcoming content for Nintendo Power Block YouTube page consists of a new retro show called Classically Trained, where Ed's going to walk me through older games that I never beat, right? So that's one show, and then NG Arcade, obviously our seasonal arcade show that Ed's putting together. And then Cubecast TV is still something I'm planning for April, so that's coming up too, where we'll just play some GameCube and Dreamcast games, because obviously we don't have a Sega channel, or need one, because it's Sega, let's be honest. But we started recording the first couple episodes of Classically Trained last week. We're playing through A Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, which I've never beaten. And so Ed and I are kind of playing together, and we're using screen share on Skype. And Skype is pretty notorious for being delayed and just kind of like, whatever. But also, Ed's been walking me through it, and oh boy, man, I am really bad at retro games. Let me tell you, I am just not very and especially for a game that it's almost like an open world game where you kind of need to know where the landmarks are and stuff to know which dungeons to go to and everything. And it's like, I don't know anything about this world, man. My whole kind of thing about this world was like, okay, I've started A Link to the Past probably 20 times, and then I just put it down after I got into the castle. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to play it later. I want to play other games. I got other stuff to do. Never finished it. Then I started A Link Between Worlds. I'm like, man, I should really go back and play A Link to the Past first. And so I started playing on 3DS a couple times. I'm like, no, I'm going to wait until I can record it. And so finally, 2 or 3 years after that idea, we finally started recording A Link to the Past. Ed, how am I doing?
You're doing great. I don't know what kind of video game master I am.
He's so mean.
It's so comedic, but I've never. Okay, so to give you guys context, when I'm playing the game with friends, I pretty much don't say a lot unless me and Corey are pod and play, or we're having great discussions while we're playing, because then my mind is not focused on the game. But if I don't speak during the game where everybody else is talking, it's because I'm focused so much on the game and I listen. I have a tendency when I'm watching other people play that makes me want to play the game for them or play along with them. And because I'm not playing this game and I'm watching someone else play, it's the advice that I'm giving them, because of Skype also latency, it kind of be like, no, you need to follow this. It's like, it feels like he's not following what I say, or the person who's playing is not following what I'm saying. And it's just like, you put yourself in a bad position because you didn't follow my words. And while me and Corey's playing A Link to the Past, I'm trying to remember all of this off the top of my mind. Now, it's been years since I played this game. It's been years that Corey has played this game. And with Corey being my boss, it's kind of hard to yell at him, to be like, go to the left. No, you need to go, because
if you yell at me, I'm not gonna fire you for telling me where to go.
But I don't want to be mean and stuff. And
it's really funny though, because he gets I can tell when he's getting mad.
And I don't get mad in video games.
At first I could tell when you were getting mad, and then I would just go do stuff to make you even more mad. Like when there's 3 or 4 enemies on the screen, and you're just like, go around them, and I literally just stopped to fight them just because you told me to go around them.
And then you mess up and get killed, and be like, oh. And I was just like, you should have. And I was just like, did he do this I don't even think of you doing it on purpose, because I was just so you could avoid this situation.
Well, I'm legitimately bad at this game, but I know what the purpose of the show is, and to
Yes.
add a little comedic factor to it, I do some things on purpose, like stopping and fighting all the enemies, or sometimes like Ed will tell me to go up and I'll go down just to hear him get frustrated. It's man, it's a good time.
So you guys just watch it, and everybody, I try not to be mean. It's one of the things, and
I get it though, because like when you're doing like, it's not exactly the same thing, but like when you're playing like with Destiny, for example, when you're doing a raid or something, and like you have the one person on your team that just can't get it, and you just get super frustrated at that person, that it just kind of like automatically comes out, right? You're just like, come on, just jump. Like literally you're just jumping, like, and it's like the easiest thing, but like for some reason your nerves are kind of like going, and your heart's pounding because you're in an intense part, and all you have to do is do like the simplest task becomes monstrously difficult.
Yes.
And then everybody else gets mad at you. Not exactly the same thing, but it's similar, just because like I want to make good content and I don't want to suck, and at the same time like I want it to be fun to watch, but also like I don't want you to be mad at me because I'm doing something stupid, unless it really is something stupid.
And so it's and the thing about it, everybody, is that where we're at in the game, it's a good start. It's a pretty good start. When it comes to the second half of the game, there's a particular dungeon that might be 3 episodes long. You might hear me rage. And I'm going to maintain my rage, my frustration. But Corey, you're not going to like it.
No, it'll be a good time.
And everybody, if you have kids around, it's still going to be G. It's not going to be no cussing or stuff. But you might be like, oh, if you have played The Legend of Zelda, and if you know a particular dungeon that I'm speaking about in the Dark World, be prepared for that episode. Corey is going to have to experience this by himself, and I might have to eat a sub sandwich to keep my mouth shut. Because it's going to be phenomenal. I'm going to be questionable content at this section. So
wow.
I'm just gonna give you that. But I'm having so much fun watching Corey play, and when he beats the bosses and stuff and enemies and figure stuff out, it's so much fun, and it relieves me. It's just like, yes, it feels like we're making progress.
It does feel good to beat the bosses though. Like, let me tell you, like the shield guys weren't that difficult, but the jumping worms and stuff was like,
yes,
getting the timing down is kind of difficult, especially because like the hitboxes on this 25-year-old game at this point are not they're not the way, they don't work the same way that modern video game hitboxes work, even like indie stuff. So like you really have to like line up. Like how many times have I, like those big dudes with the one eye, the Cyclops guys, like how many times have I missed them with the arrow because I thought I was lined up and I wasn't, right? And it's just like, oh man, I just need to get better at lining stuff up. Now, Ed, wait, because like I had another game in mind that I am excruciatingly terrible at that I want to try to do after A Link to the Past. But first, Ed's going to do Super Mario Brothers 2. So
yes,
that's the next thing. But Mega Man is a game that I would like to try, and I am excruciatingly terrible at it. So
I might be racist.
Oh boy. Oh well,
I won't be.
I'll get my beeper ready.
Right. All I gotta say is this: please follow directions on who to go to for the bosses. Don't pick randomly.
Well, I know you got to cut man first, and I know you just have to keep moving. Even if you get hit, you just got to keep moving because you can become invincible.
Yes.
I do know that. But anyways, so Classically Trained is coming to you on youtube.com/Nintendo Power Block on March 7th. It's a Thursday, so it's going to be part of our Throwback Thursday stuff. So
Yes.
yeah. So Classically Trained debuting March 7th on youtube.com/Nintendo Power Block and ngrradio.com. All right, Ed, let's get into this news. There's a lot to cover here. There is a lot to cover. So let's just jump right in here. Reggie Fils-Aime is retiring from Nintendo of America after 15 notable years at the company. A lot of our news is coming concerning Reggie's retirement. Nintendo Life, we are pulling from them. So, did you watch the video? Did you watch his video on
Yes.
Twitter? Oh my gosh,
yes,
dude.
I did.
It was really, whew, man. I remember watching that Space World when they kind of was it Space World or was it E3? I can't remember. One of those
E3.
It was one of those things where like he came out on stage. It was for GameCube games, right? Like it was during the GameCube era. I can't remember if it was to announce the GameCube or like a year or so after, but he came out and he was like, "I'm Reggie and I'm about kicking ass and taking names, and we're about making games." And it was everybody was like super hyped, and it was oh my gosh, it was awesome. Excuse my language, but that
was the quote that he said.
That was his quote. So I know it's a family show, but it was cool, man. And Reggie's kind of been like this fixture / meme / like just the face of Nintendo for so long. Like he's right up there with Iwata and Miyamoto and Aonuma.
Yeah.
Like Reggie is there with them, right? And it's just like, man, that video.
He's been dubbed as the Nintendo Dad.
Yeah.
Nintendo Dad. Nintendo Dad or something like that.
So I mean, that if you haven't watched that video, it's on Nintendo's Twitter. I'm pretty sure it's on their YouTube page at this point. It's everywhere. So very, very touching little video that he sent out. He's retiring in April, and let's just read this story here from Nintendo Life real quick because they kind of break it down better than I can on the fly. After more than successful product launch with the Nintendo Switch and 15 notable years at Nintendo of America, it comes as something of a shock as it is revealed that Reggie Fils-Aime will soon be retiring from the company. With almost 13 years under his belt as president and COO, Reggie has become something of a household name with gamers across the world and has led Nintendo of America through many important transitions through the years. His last day at NOA will be the 15th of April. The appropriately named Doug Bowser will take over the reins from Reggie. Shuntaro Furukawa, president of Nintendo Co. Ltd., had to say this on the transition. "I really appreciate everything Reggie has done for Nintendo. Inside and out our company, Reggie is known as an exceptional leader. We are grateful that he is leaving the business in good shape with strong momentum. While we will miss him and we wish him the very best in his retirement, we are also pleased to have such an able successor ready to step into that role. Doug Bowser and the rest of the team will ensure a seamless transition and continued momentum for Nintendo." Here's what Reggie had to say about this shock announcement. "Nintendo owns a part of my heart forever. It's a part that is..." Hold on a second. Sorry, the page didn't load very well. "Nintendo owns a part of my heart forever. It's a part that is filled with gratitude for the incredibly talented people I've worked with, for the opportunity to represent such a wonderful brand, and most of all, to feel like a member of the world's most positive and enduring gamer community. As I look forward to departing in both good health and good humor, this is not game over for me, but instead leveling up to more time with my wife, family, and friends." Incoming NOA president Doug Bowser added this: "It has been my great fortune to work with and be mentored by Reggie for 4 years at Nintendo of America. And rest assured, we will continue to build his work to evolve and expand our brand, further Nintendo's global mission, and create smiles. There are millions more of those to come." So, yeah, man, super, super sad, but also really happy for him, and that usually you hear people have to retire because they're in poor health. They've got a lot of health issues. They've got, some other things going on in their personal lives that they need to take care of. But it's good to see him go out on top,
And for people who don't know that, Reggie Fils-Aime been in the media for years, even before Nintendo, working at VH1, getting that company up, and just doing other projects and stuff. He's been doing a lot of being the face of a lot of things. So to see him kind of retired, like you said, Corey, is sad. Very unexpected, but I kind of like how everybody from Sean Layden from Sony.
You want me to read their tweets real quick?
Yes.
Okay, so Sean Layden from PlayStation tweeted out. He says, "Reggie, thanks for all the games and your leadership in our industry. We are a better and brighter place for your wisdom and efforts. With appreciation and best wishes from all your friends at PlayStation." And then Phil Spencer came out and said, "All the best to Reggie Fils-Aime on the next phase of his life and great career. Great leader, industry partner, and friend." So...
yeah, and to have them all three come out at the Game Awards, that still is a historic moment for all three consoles. All three companies. So it is bittersweet. I think everybody is super happy that he's leaving on a good moral. That he's leaving with a lot of love. And a lot of respect from the fans and the gaming community all around. And, even though, the Bowser thing that everybody joked around with and stuff, Doug Bowser probably had to expect that and everything.
Yeah, but I think... his last name is Bowser. He expects it. Did you see the picture they used of him? It has Mario and Luigi tied up in the background on a shelf.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny. At least he's playing into it. That's really funny.
Yeah.
Jeff Keighley came out and said, "I can't believe I'm writing this. Reggie Fils-Aime is retiring from Nintendo. One of our industry's finest leaders and a dear friend. He's always believed in me. Thank you, Reggie." And then he went on to say, "I spoke with Reggie today and let him know how much he means to me and the entire game industry. It was an emotional conversation. Reggie leaves Nintendo in one of its strongest positions in history. He will always have a front row seat at the Game Awards. Thank you, Reggie." And then Mike Ibarra from Team Xbox came out and said, "As many of you know, I'm a huge fan of Nintendo. Over the last 15 years, Reggie Fils-Aime has done a great job. I'm sad to see him retire, but also happy for him to spend more time with his family. Thank you for great entertainment." So it's hitting everybody, man. It's hitting everybody hard. I mean, the last time I saw not just industry people, but or not just Nintendo people, but industry people kind of come together and kind of praise somebody was when, sadly when Satoru Iwata passed away.
Yes.
And everybody's, I mean, people at Nintendo are important to the industry, and sometimes, on a way, exponentially smaller scale, we get letters from people saying that we help them through things and whatever, but Nintendo does that on a global mass market scale. And even if you own a PlayStation or an Xbox and aren't really a Nintendo fan, you kind of feel their impact wherever you are, right? Whether it's from their leadership or from their the development side or just from everyone. And Reggie's always been the guy that most of us looked at as the face of Nintendo, at least in this part of the country, this part of the world, rather.
And a lot of this really had to deal, of course, of E3 and all of that stuff, but a lot of it had to deal with Nintendo Direct. Definitely with Iwata, Miyamoto, Bill Trinen, and Reggie and stuff. It's just that, like you said, even if you are just a Microsoft fan or a Sony fan, you were always going to be part of Nintendo's community because you joined us watching the Nintendo Direct and seeing some of the goofiness that these big position guys have played. To see Iwata and go ahead.
Sorry,
to see Iwata and Fils-Aime fight and smash.
Yeah, that was funny. That was really good.
it was funny, but you would never think about it.
Or the
The
star,
way,
or the puppets, like the Star Fox puppets.
yes, or the claymation one that they did,
Yeah.
where where he roasted the guy up from under three, like that stuff.
Or the robot chicken stuff.
Yeah, the robot chicken stuff. Yeah, like you never seen other big media people, well known and stuff, put themselves out there.
Mm-hmm.
And Fils-Aime did that. Definitely with him dancing with the clock thing, eating the donuts with Bill Trinen and stuff. Just like making a goof out of himself because he knows that he'll probably get mean and he'll probably get made fun of. But Nintendo represents fun.
Mm-hmm.
And if they can't have fun and all business stuff, we're not going to connect to them. I think that's why a lot of fans respect them about that. Just being open and honest. Yes, it has the PR speak to it. That's fine. But being open and honest and keeping some and being well to keep some secrets and stuff hidden from the public, and just be like, we'll reveal it when we need to, and it works out well. Fils-Aime and people at Nintendo, they are so well at doing it, which kind of sometimes makes us feel down, but we still love them because when it is revealed and they do it in a major way, it's well worth the wait.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, we're playing off what you said. Like we get frustrated when when Nintendo games are delayed or
yes,
we waited for Breath of the Wild for what 3.5 years. Right?
Yes,
it was supposed to come out in like what 2015 or something, or 20, It was announced in like 2014. It's supposed to come out in 2015, and they just kept delaying it and delaying it and delaying it, and like we were super frustrated. But look at it now. It's like one of our favorite games of all time.
Yes,
and sometimes we lose sight of that, but Nintendo is a company that is a perfectionist at making sure everything is fun and works properly, and it's a lot of hard work to make something that fun, and that there's never been an open world game where there hasn't been extremely large bugs, whether you're talking about a Bethesda game or even something like The Witcher or Red Dead. Like they all have like they're great games in their own right, but like they have bugs and everything. And like you play through Zelda, what was the one bug they found where you hide in the tower of the bridge at one point, and then the art style changes to the original art style for like a blip of a section of the map, right?
Yeah.
It's like, man, if that's the only thing somebody found, like that's perfection, man. And
right.
Nintendo of America does a lot of hands-on with translating, and Treehouse does a lot of great work and everything. And it's just like, I don't know how much of an impact like Reggie retiring is gonna have on the company, like moving forward in terms of operations or anything, because I'm sure Doug Bowser will do a great job, but like,
yes,
it's gonna impact fans for a while, especially fans who grew up with GameCube and stuff like that. So
and as long as Doug Bowser puts himself out there,
mm-hmm.
like have fun with this.
Mm-hmm.
Be able to talk to the media. You don't have to respond to angry comments. Like really, just be you and make Nintendo continue to look like the company who they are. Because people are going to be watching, be ready to judge on Bowser that he's doing a bad job or anything. But it's just like, no, let him be in this Nintendo.
He needs that moment like Reggie did when he came out, right?
Yes.
He needs that moment for himself to say, hey, it's still, it may be a new regime here, but it's still the same Nintendo. And, Reggie did a great job, but I'm here now. And he needs that, for lack of better phrases, he needs that memeable moment, right?
Yes.
The way that the Reginator was, or the time thing was with Reggie. Like he needs that memeable moment for himself and to get people really be like, okay, we're still here, we're still in. So
yes.
but
yes,
yeah, so but anyways, congratulations to Reggie for the time. I'm sure he's not watching our podcast, but anyways, thank you for all the great work you did at Nintendo. You're going to be missed, but, still huge fans and yeah.
Yeah, we'll be waiting to see what you do next, if you do anything next. But yeah, stay around the video game community and definitely, regardless of it's Nintendo, Sony, or Microsoft, stay around and continue to celebrate games along with us.
Yeah. All right, Ed, we're going to move on here. Man, that Reggie stuff really hits you right in the feels.
Yes.
Also from Nintendo Life, some more kind of bad news. Well, not really bad news, but this comes from Nintendo Life. There's a rumor going around that Nintendo is reviving the rumor, it's not a rumor that they're reviving a dead franchise, but the franchises that they're rumored to be reviving. Don't get your hopes up about Project Hammer or Scalebound making a comeback. The rumor earlier this week was that Nintendo was working with Platinum Games to revive Scalebound, and then another one was Project Hammer, which was originally shown off for the Wii. And so I'm just going to read this article from Nintendo Life. Earlier this week, we reported a rumor about Nintendo's plans to revive a dead and buried game. The rumor stems from a comment made by Game Informer senior editor Imran Khan on last week's Kind of Funny Gamescast or Games show. According to the source, Nintendo has intentions of reviving a certain project, even though it was, quote, officially canned. Of course, this sent the rumor mill wild, with various outlets and fans speculating it could be the axed Wii title Project Hammer, or perhaps even Platinum Games Scalebound, which was intended to be an Xbox One exclusive. At the time, industry insider, video game historian, and Nintendo Life contributor Liam Robertson chimed in on Twitter to have his say, and after a handful of requests, he's now published a video discussing blah 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 below, blah 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 blah. To be blunt about it, Mr. Robertson is certain Project Hammer will never return, citing it as a, quote, catastrophe for everyone involved in the development process. As for Scalebound, Mr. Robertson has enough sources at Platinum Games to get an idea on what's going on, which makes it hard for him to believe the game would ever make a return, even though he does think there is still a very small possibility it could. His main reasoning as to why it would not happen right now, though, was tied to how it was very, quote, personal to a number of former employees. If it was restarted now without the original team, it wouldn't be the same creative vision. So Dead and Buried franchise is not one of these games. So everybody who got your hopes up to play Scalebound, sorry everybody, still not happening.
I mean, and I kind of figured out that because I was checking on this to see if Microsoft still own it. They own it in name, but they let the name lapse. Mm-hmm. So Scalebound has kind of actually went back to Platinum in that sense. As for the assets and everything, I don't know anything about that. And even when I was watching that E3 presentation of Scalebound, and that game did not look finished. No. Just by the energy bar that they had, I'm just like, this wasn't going to be done. Like, I think if Scalebound was going to be finished, it was going to be released on the next Xbox. Project Hammer, that one came to mind because of it being showcased, like the pictures and stuff, and we just didn't hear nothing else about it. So that's why that game came to mind. If there is a dead and buried project, no one in Japan or America or even Europe knows. This is going to be something that never got reported or even got off the ground. Something Miyamoto could have killed also. So
yeah, I mean, I've been really trying to think of like what dead and buried franchises Nintendo really has, and like, there's nothing that's really quote unquote dead and buried. I don't know, unless it was just like, maybe it wasn't a dead and buried franchise, but just a game in that franchise.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I am really struggling to try to think about what that game would be, but Watch it just be like Mario 128 or something.
And we know that Nintendo, if a game or a concept doesn't work, they would take those ideas and put it into another game. They will replace it with their interests, kill that story or that idea. I mean, not saying that they worked on production and just stopped it altogether, but they were just like, it didn't even get past the planning stages.
Yeah.
So they could have proposed it and they just said no, and that was it, and they just had to move on.
Yeah. Maybe it's the Fast RMX's F-Zero pitch.
It could have. It could be. I will say that because of what we've seen at the latest Nintendo Direct, Nintendo really doesn't have nothing to worry about by reviving stuff. They got too many titles in production and getting ready to release.
Like I told you, like it's almost they almost have too many games in production.
Yes.
Like, I mean, they have something like we talked about on the roadmap episode, but like also something we didn't mention the last time was like Bayonetta. They were talking about every game mentioned in the Direct is coming out this year. Yeah. And so Bayonetta 3 was mentioned, and Bill Trennan kind of on the Nintendo Power podcast, Bill Trennan was talking about Bayonetta 3 and still coming out this year. So, like, that could be their big December game. You know how we were talking about what game comes out in December? Bayonetta is a perfect game for that because, A, December is a time where, people are buying Christmas gifts and stuff, so they're not really, they miss that Black Friday deal. But if you get it early enough in December, right, your hardcore fans will still go out and buy it. People will buy it for people for Christmas. And, if it does well, maybe it'll get like a small discount in January by like $10. So,
and to me personally, it still could be in the running for a Game of the Year. Like, Game of the Year nominations to me personally do not end till almost the week of Christmas. Or
that's why we do our Game of the Year episodes like the last week of the year, so we can kind of. I mean, I know not everybody's like that, but that's why we kind of do it that way, because we want to include everything that came out that year.
Right.
So, we'll see. But yeah, sorry everybody who wants to play Project Hammer and Scalebound, you're gonna have to wait. All right, Ed. Speaking of the biggest stories of the week.
What a story!
What a crazy story this is about to be. This comes from Game Informer's and Ron Khan. The title of the article is Rumor, Microsoft bringing Game Pass and published titles to Nintendo Switch. I'm just going to get on with the article here, and then we'll have a big discussion about this, because this is about to be a discussion and a half, Ed. According to a report from outlet Direct Feed Games, an outlet that has a strong track record for rumors, especially centering around Nintendo, Microsoft and Nintendo are about to get together in a big way in the near future. Not only will some Microsoft games find their way to Switch, but it looks like the entire Game Pass library might arrive via the magic of streaming. The report states that Microsoft is looking to publish some of their own catalog to the Nintendo Switch in the form of actual ports. Now, before I continue with this article, we've had this discussion multiple times. We've had this discussion probably for the last year and a half.
Yes.
Maybe not Halo or Gears, but games like Ori, games like Cuphead, games like State of Decay, games like Sea of Thieves would work on Switch because of the nature of the system and the way those games scale down. That we've had this discussion 100 times. So
yes,
take it with a grain of salt, everybody, but I'm getting really excited right now. I want to categorize possibility and a grain of salt versus our extreme fandom overhypeness of this announcement. So just to get that out of the way, this is in no way strange for Microsoft, who has dabbled in things like lending out rare for games on Nintendo systems and developing and publishing games on Nintendo consoles such as Minecraft. Also, another good point. Remember that rumor last year going around, Rare Replay Plus, that would include the Donkey Kong games and the games Nintendo owns from Rare.
Yes.
So We had that discussion as well. Microsoft owns developers like Ninja Theory and Obsidian are self-publishing their games on the Switch and other systems as well. The game specifically mentioned by Direct Feed is Ori and the Blind Forest, a crown jewel of Microsoft's lower-key publishing initiatives. Additionally, the report goes on to say that Microsoft will be leveraging their, quote, their announced Project xCloud streaming service to bring Xbox One games to the Switch. While the Switch can't natively play, as a hypothetical example, Gears 5, it could stream it over the internet. This will be done through GamePass, which allows players to subscribe to a service to access a Netflix-style library of games. In talking with our own sources, it has been suggested that the announcement of GamePass on Switch could be as soon as this year. This isn't surprising, as Microsoft has been eager to expand Game Pass out as far as they can, announcing plans to revamp it for PC. Project xCloud is a means to an end to get people who don't own Xbox product to spend money on Xbox services, making the Switch a perfect vector for it. For Nintendo, it means games that are unfeasible on the console due to hardware limitations can come to the Switch in some form and provide an added value for the system. The particular avenue is also not new to Nintendo, which has been experimenting using cloud streaming as a way to play technologically demanding games for a few months now in Japan. Games like Resident Evil 7, Assassin's Creed Odyssey have Switch ports in Japan, streaming a special version from a local server. Game Pass on the Switch would be no different. There's a couple other things here, but this is an exciting prospect, Ed. Now, Jesse and I were talking last night when we were playing Anthem. We were talking about how, what if you could stream, like if you have the game physically downloaded to your Xbox, what if you could stream it for like just for better connection, whatever, you could link your Switch to your Xbox and stream it from your Xbox, the way that, remote play for PlayStation works to a PC, right? Like, what if, like, do you think that would have like a better connection or whatever? We were talking about that.
Are you thinking of like the Netflix kind of thing, where if you're watching it on PlayStation, Hulu, let me go with Hulu. If you're watching Hulu on PlayStation and you're going to the bathroom, but you still want to watch the show, you can't bring your PlayStation in. So you pick up your Switch, get on Hulu, and it continues from that part of your Switch.
Exactly.
Okay.
Like the way like that I mean that could be a possibility. Or if you're playing on your Xbox, you can continue via the cloud. You can continue your progress. If you say, I'm going on vacation, I'm going to grab my Switch via xCloud, and the cloud saves that Xbox Live provides.
Well, it's kind of the same thing.
I mean, it should just work seamlessly, right? Because it works that way between PC and Xbox. So why wouldn't it work with another device like that?
Well, the thing about it is that it's going to depend on the Wi-Fi service. Some people could have restrictions. Sometimes you have to pay for that Wi-Fi service, and stuff like that. And that could also affect your system with the stream. Like if it's not high speed or anything, and you're like in an airplane in this crappy Wi-Fi, then yes, you still have that ability to happen, but the experience is going to be ruined due to the fact of the internet. I can see it happening. I think the thing is that if you're going to be, because we always said, package this deal if it happens, and I think we said $100 or something, that you get Nintendo Online and then you get Game Pass. That way you don't have to pay the $10 every month and stuff.
I think what you would have to do is like, I could see Xbox having tiered Game Pass levels where,
yes,
like, hey, I own Xbox and PC, here's your $10 a month package, right? And then I could see them having like a $15 a month tier, say, hey, if you have a Switch or on your phones or whatever, like, here's your you have to pay $15 a month, but you can play it on Switch, your phones, your tablets, that kind of thing, just so they can make money to pay off, like, I mean, Nintendo's not going to have the service on there for free, right? They're going to want a cut of it at least.
Yes.
So like that's how you get, hey, Nintendo, for every subscriber you get $2 or whatever. And that I think would work amazingly. I would pay $5 or more a month just to play it on my Switch.
My thing would be this, that it's going to be a problem if we're not getting everything on Game Pass to be on Switch.
Well, it would just be the Game Pass library.
I mean, yes, but if we're not going to get Gears on Switch because of Game Pass, like if we're not getting the exact thing that Xbox is getting, it's not going to be worth it on Switch.
Right.
So
well, that
even
defeats the purpose. That's
right.
Yeah.
So it would be fine. It would be fine to do the remote play thing, but if not all the games are going to be there, and plus if they're still taking games off of Game Pass, then there's no reason of doing it. In my sense, because if I'm playing Shadow of the Tomb Raider on Game Pass, and I go on a trip, I'm coming down to see you, and I'm on the train, and I find out that it's I'm going to do the rest of Shadow of the Tomb Raider on Switch. If they take it off Game Pass, and that was my only reason of getting Game Pass, then I'm stuck for a month with other games. Because maybe I already own everything that own Game Pass and stuff. I'm not saying it's a bad idea, but the Nintendo fans got to be aware of what comes along with Game Pass and what you're going to be paying for. If Microsoft is going to put some limitations on it, that's going to be a problem. If they're going to fully put Game Pass on Switch, everything that's coming on Xbox needs to be on Switch. If they're going to date their stuff, it needs to happen on Switch, remote play or not, because that's going to be unfair that everybody else get Gears 5. And Switch players who want who have Game Pass, you guys can't get it until a month later because it's exclusive to Xbox Game Pass players. Hopefully it be day and date.
Yeah.
For that.
I mean that'd be awesome. Like I mean I think Microsoft has been trying to figure out a way to get into a handheld space for a while. And look, what I said a couple weeks ago is like. The partnership with Microsoft and Nintendo benefits both parties, right?
Yes.
Where like Nintendo would draw players that wouldn't normally be buying Nintendo games, and like you could be playing, hey, I'm going to play all these awesome Xbox games on my Switch, right? And then in Japan, it would get Microsoft a foot in the door over there because they've been terrible over there since the original Xbox launch. They just have not been able to get us a foot out there. So it benefits both companies, but besides talking about the logistics of all this, if this happens, how excited would you be for this?
I would be very excited. I think it would be such a major win to Nintendo, the Nintendo community, to Xbox and the Xbox community. A workaround for third party, depending on what they want to put on Game Pass for people to play these next gen games. Because like if
we finally get Tomb Raider on Switch,
you get Tomb Raider, if we get the whole collection on Switch, it probably would. Microsoft is going to track that and show that Nintendo players who've been playing Tomb Raider has been playing it on Game Pass. In fact, everybody's been talking about playing the whole trilogy. Square Enix is going to take notice of this and realize we made a grave mistake. We should have put these games out physically on the machine, because yes, we are getting some kind of revenue from Microsoft, but we could get more if we actually put out the physical copies of this game. If they see that Shadow of the Tomb Raider is being played more on Switch through Game Pass, that's going to give Square Enix, we need to put this game out on Switch.
I think, like you said, I think it's going to benefit a lot of third-party support for Switch, just because they're going to see people playing these games, and they're going to be like, maybe we should actually try to make a Switch port of this game, to or maybe Game Pass benefits them, right? Maybe Game Pass is like, hey, we don't have to put the development resources into porting this game to Switch as long as we put it on Game Pass and people are playing it there, and we're still making some sort of income, like through microtransactions or through expansion packs, that kind of thing. Like,
right. Well, I think the thing would be is that Square Enix is, and the reason why I say they need to pay attention, because there's going to be people saying, we would love I wish there was a physical copy. I wish I could have this game on my Switch. And if Square Enix just like, if we could make 5 times more than what we're making off of Game Pass, let's get this game wrapped up. Let's get it ported on. Let's see who could do it, and then put it out on Switch. It might not be the same quality, but if everybody's buying 700,000 copies of Shadow the Tomb Raider on Switch within 3 days, that tells you not only the power of the Switch, but that fans were willing to buy this game if you put it on Switch in the first place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Plus, like, as awesome as streaming those games would be.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people. Probably 99% of the gaming world still prefers the local copy, like either downloading it or physically purchasing the game, right? And if people take notice of this and see that third-party games are working on here, or even Microsoft, even like, hey, maybe we should try to have a physical copy of Rare Replay ready for Switch, or maybe we should try to have Cuphead and Ori physically for Switch, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and this is how it works out for Microsoft and Nintendo. Nintendo sells more Switches to get this system. Xbox gained more subscribers to this service. Mm-hmm. So it's going to work both. It's going to work in both ways.
How many people do you think own Switches that don't own an Xbox? Approximately.
I would probably say about 7 million.
I would say probably 60% of the people who own a Switch probably don't own an Xbox. And that's just because there's a lot of people out there that just buy an Xbox for Call of Duty and stuff. But if you could, if let's just say it's 50%. It looks like Xbox has sold approximately 40 million units, right?
Yes.
Switch is at 31, 32 million.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Let's say Microsoft gets 20% of Switch owners to buy into Game Pass at $10. Let's just keep it at $10, right?
Okay.
Let's say they get 10% of Switch owners, which is 40 million or 32 million units. If they get 10% or $10 for 10% of that, that's let's see, 3. It's they're still making $32 million a month.
Yeah.
That. That's insane. And if you can just get that 10% to buy in, right? And then the word of mouth grows, and maybe it grows the next month to 12%. In a year, you'll have 20% of the Switch's base buying Game Pass with that maybe doesn't even own an Xbox. That's what Microsoft wants.
Yeah. And if it's recovering the loss. Because the thing about it is, if we don't have a lot of subscribers on Xbox, but we got 90% of Switch players doing it, bang, that's more money for that. And it will show that Project X Cloud is successful in a way. My thing is definitely... go ahead, Gray.
Oh, I was just going to say, I'm really interested to see how X Cloud works.
That's why I feel like GDC is going to be important for Microsoft. That regardless,
especially with the Google stuff that's rumored to be at GDC this year. Their keynote is supposedly all about their gaming streaming service. If Google comes out and does this streaming service, and Microsoft comes out and tries to do the same thing, and Google's service is better than Microsoft's, that's something that Microsoft has been I'm just using Microsoft in general now, not Xbox, just in general.
Yes,
Microsoft tried to make their iPod with the Zune, right? Didn't really take off, even though I owned a Zune and I loved it.
I love Zune.
So that like they tried that. They tried their Windows Phone, right? Didn't really happen. They're trying right now with their own versions of tablets, and granted, I hear they're pretty awesome, but iPad still owns the market share, and then like third party Android tablets still own the rest of the mind share. So I don't really know how many people use Surface tablets, although I would actually really like to see how they work and try to use them at some point. But they're just really expensive. They've tried their studio PCs similar to iMac. Haven't really got those to take off, even though Microsoft Windows owns probably still 91% of the market share in terms of
OS
of operating systems. And then Xbox has been behind PlayStation and Nintendo this generation. Like they need, I think xCloud is what's going to finally push them over the hump, right?
And this is why I feel like Microsoft is going to be better than Google. Google market is a mess. I don't care.
It's not just that. It's just like Microsoft has a gaming division, and Google doesn't really have a gaming division. Right. Granted, they've purchased developers, and people have gone there to work on gaming stuff, but they don't have that gaming division. Like at least publicly, they don't have that gaming division that's going to make an interesting box. I think the closest thing was like the Ouya, and it wasn't even made by Google. It was just running off Google software.
Software.
You know,
and to me, Google doesn't have anything AAA worthy that they could produce.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, because like you can have all the third party support you want, right? But if you don't have, like, exclusives still matter, right?
Yeah.
And Microsoft is seeing that this gen where like, yeah, they still have Gears and Halo and Forza, but like everybody's asking where are the rest of their exclusives? What are they working on? And like this is where Microsoft is building the future with Ninja Theory, Inexile, Obsidian, Playground, Initiative, or the Initiative. You know, all their studios are making these working on their fantastic games for next gen, while still building the services out right now with Xbox Live and Game Pass and games with gold, that kind of thing. Yeah.
And if Google cannot even deliver an experience even close to Quantum Break, something, you know, whatever you think about it, Quantum Break is a great game. It has a great high production. If Google is not able to deliver that level kind of experience, I don't care what their streaming is. You're giving me indie games that I'm finding better on Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, like,
that I'm finding on 3DS.
Exactly. Why would I go out and buy a new box from Google when I can already, like, their big thing to test their streaming service was Assassin's Creed Odyssey, right?
Yeah.
That's great, and like that was different because people got free copies of the game just to test out the service from them, right? And that's cool and everything, but like when their store opens, what's gonna pull me from Xbox or Nintendo or PlayStation to buy these third-party games on Google if Google doesn't have their own games?
What's going to even pull you away from Steam if that is on there?
Yeah.
And Steam is having their own situation with Epic Games.
Right.
So it's just like, if Google is going to come out ready against Microsoft and stuff, I think Microsoft is going to pay attention and sit back and watch and see if it's going to be successful or it's going to burn and fail or whatever it goes. But you can have if Google do not come with a title that is going to make everybody interested in wanting to get onto their service and delivering everybody else's games, like third-party games and stuff, it's not going to matter to anybody.
Yeah.
Oh, you got Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Because like,
great. I played that on 15 other platforms or 4 other platforms that's offering it too.
Yeah, I mean, to be 100% honest with you, and like we've had this discussion before too, is like, well, to be fair, I've started collecting physical games again. I'm a terrible human being, but like, even if I'm purchasing the physical or the digital versions of games, like, I still prefer to have the
physical.
I still prefer to at least have it downloaded on my system as opposed to streaming, right?
Yes.
And for me, Game Pass is awesome because you can download the games. And having Game Pass on Switch is like, okay, I know I have my Xbox sitting under my entertainment center with these games on the box, but when I can't use the TV, right, the convenience of streaming it to another console is going to be awesome, right? Just streaming Game Pass games to Switch is a perfectly viable thing for me because I know I have those hard copies on my drive on my Xbox. And it's not like I'm going to go trade in my Xbox because I'm going to be able to play Xbox games on my Switch.
Right. And that's why when I mentioned that having a USB wireless port for Switch to use your Xbox controller, to use the adapter controller, that would benefit from Game Pass and Project X Cloud being on Switch. That's a great benefit, because then now people can play if they don't own an Xbox. Microsoft could package a $90 controller, where now you get the controller and you get the USB, and it says play on Windows 10, PC, Switch, Xbox, or whatever.
Yeah.
You have that option.
Yeah.
And you can throw
you can like if this Game Pass is specifically programmed for Switch, you're going to be able to use your Switch controller. Like it's not like the controller is any different, right? Like it's essentially the same controller with the X and A and B buttons are backwards, but like
right.
It's essentially the same controller, and Game Pass will be able to tell you, hey, you're playing on Switch, and you're playing with a Switch Pro controller. Here's your button mapping. Here you go. And before, like as it's loading the game up, it'll show you the controller layouts, or you can go into the options and it'll be like, oh, we detect you're playing with Switch. Here's your controller options.
Yeah. And that that would just be like what we keep saying, benefiting Microsoft and Nintendo, but the possibilities are there. That's going to put, and I know we're probably getting close to the end, that's going to put a strain on Sony. Whatever they do with PlayStation 5 is going to be whatever Sony does with PlayStation 5. Mm-hmm. But if Microsoft and Nintendo could get 70% of the market on their side, whether it becomes exclusive or multiplayer, like multi-owners and stuff, consumers, Sony is going to be in a whole different position, because everybody's going to be like, well, I could get the same experience on Microsoft and switch that on my Switch at a later date. If I don't pick up Fallout 76 for PlayStation 5, or a remaster or whatever, but it comes on Game Pass, and I can play Fallout 76 on Switch and take that on the go, still do remote play if you want to do that, I might as well get Game Pass, because I have not only this game that's really for $10, I have it on the go, and I could use my options of controllers and customization if I want to.
Yeah.
Why would I play it on PlayStation 5 when it's just stuck on that one console?
Yeah. Plus,
go ahead.
Plus like the one thing I want to know is, like, if Xbox Live is coming to Switch, right? Like, I know Nintendo's not going to use it directly, but I want to know if Xbox Live is going to function the way it does on PC on Switch, where, like, as long as you have the Xbox app open, you can stream games from your Xbox to your Switch. Am I going to be able to play the games downloaded on my Xbox? If my Xbox is on, am I going to be able to stream? Like, Anthem is not on Game Pass.
Yes.
Right? But am I going to be able to stream Anthem to my Switch as long as I have Xbox Live open? Like, am I going to be able to do that at some point?
That I don't think you're going to be able to do. I think it's just that it's Game Pass, whatever you can stream through Game Pass, because you can't download anything on Switch from Game Pass or anything. I think you just only could stream it, play the game, and that's it.
Yeah. Okay. Jesse and I were talking about that last night too.
Now, I will say this: Nintendo does have the cloud. Nintendo offers external hard drives. Nintendo has the micro SD card.
Well, I don't think we're going to be able to download games. I just want to be able to, like.
But the thing about it is that if if Nintendo works with Microsoft for that to happen, and maybe they might have to charge, and maybe it'd be part of the price. They up the price or whatever. Definitely, you gotta have Nintendo Online and stuff. If that is able to happen and it's through the cloud or through external hard drive, then that's a major win for Nintendo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and Nintendo's going to be like, okay.
Well, this also, now that you're bringing this up, I wonder if this makes that rumor that the hardware revision of the Switch is. I wonder if they're going to have like if they're really doing this thing with Microsoft, right? And they're going to have a hardware revision to make it more powerful to keep up to date with the other boxes. What if you can still stream it to the current model of the Switch, right?
Yeah.
Through xCloud. But what if Microsoft, and this is just pie in the sky, and again, grain of salt, but what if Microsoft kind of invests in Nintendo a little bit and kind of invests in a revision to where you could theoretically download maybe base Xbox One versions of games like Halo 5 or Master Chief Collection to the Switch in terms of like an external hard drive or a micro SD card?
Yeah, it's a possibility. And Nintendo wouldn't need a revision. I think they would just need an update.
Well, they need hardware revision because some of the stuff, I mean, it runs Wolfenstein and Doom great, but like those games are heavily modified for the console and
for the consoles, and I could see that, but I think because of what Nintendo was doing with Switch and stuff, I don't think a revision is necessary at this point in time for all of that other functionality to happen. If an update could allow that to fix it and stuff, then if an update can't fix it, and Nintendo is just like, okay, we need to up the RAM and all of that stuff. If they need to do it, then yes, Nintendo would go on the revision. I don't
think Nintendo really needs to do anything because, like, to me, this is more like Microsoft is looking for a way to expand the Xbox brand.
Yes.
Everybody knows Nintendo, right? Nintendo, and the Switch is a hit. Like, everybody knows what Nintendo is, right? And for me, this is just Microsoft wants Xbox to be more of a services / they don't want the hardware to matter, right? And I think somewhere in an interview, it was either Phil Spencer or Mike Ibarra or somebody said that like Sea of Thieves can run on a low powered machine at 360p and 15 frames a second if the hardware is crappy enough, right? Like that game is made to run on anything. And I wonder if Microsoft is looking at that scaling mechanism from Sea of Thieves. And maybe this has been part of their plan a little bit in terms of like at least to tablets and be like, look, if we can get Sea of Thieves to run at 720p 30 frames a second and dial the textures down a little bit, right, on this tablet, what if the Switch is powerful enough to run something at 1080p and 40 frames a second and dial the texture? Like, they have that scaling resolution. Halo has it, definitely has the scaling resolution. Sea of Thieves has it. I'm pretty sure State of Decay has it too. Like, theoretically, some of these games can run on stuff like this.
Yeah. Theoretically.
Now, right now we're just talking about xCloud and GamePass and streaming it and stuff, but it's an interesting thing to think about, and I cannot wait till that keynote speech at GDC.
And that's why I said I really want to, and I hope they stream it live, because regardless if we make predictions of where, we're just theorizing all of this, these are big possibilities that can happen. And this would be another historic moment that would change the game industry for a good while.
And people called us crazy for 3 years ago when Rare Replay came out, right?
Yes.
3 years ago, we were like, man, wouldn't it be awesome if Microsoft started putting games on Switch? And we had that whole conversation of like, Cuphead wasn't even out yet, and we were like, man, they could put like Cuphead and Ori and this Rare Replay collection, and we could like play Xbox games on Switch. Like we were having that conversation 3 years ago, and now we don't sound so crazy anymore, I don't think.
No.
And like we were having realistic conversations about that, but discussions nonetheless, right? And like,
yes,
this would be like, this goes in line with their cross-platforms stuff that they're trying. It goes with their streaming stuff that they're trying. It's going with Game Pass and bringing Xbox Live to Xbox Live will be cross-platform for indie games, and now seemingly probably these games, right, where you can play with anybody anywhere. Like, all of the Microsoft puzzle pieces are finally coming together, and Nintendo is that big, red, beautiful piece right in the middle right now.
Right.
So it's going to be interesting to see. We've seen a little bit in Minecraft, and now, like I said, it wouldn't surprise me if when Xbox Live comes to Switch, right? Like if something like Wargroove would be implemented in there, or Rocket League, or a Fortnite even. Like it's like all kind of settling right now, and GDC is going to be the big thing. So
yeah,
I'm excited for it. Let us know what you guys think in the comments below this podcast and this video. It's gonna be an interesting discussion, but we're gonna wrap it there. I want to thank everybody for watching. Remember, you can download Nintendo Power Block every Tuesday at 7 a.m. Eastern Time on your podcast service of choice. You can watch it live now on Saturdays at 2 p.m. Eastern Time on twitch.tv/NGR Radio, twitch.tv/CoreyInHD, and other places. I need to figure out how else we can get this on there. You can watch it later on YouTube, youtube.com/Nintendo Power Block. We will have each conversation separated into separate videos. We started doing that, and we've gotten some good feedback about that. So episode 150 is coming up, so if you want to get your question block questions in, we are saving. I know you guys have written in. I'm saving the questions for that question block episode. Episode 150 is a big milestone, and we kind of want to celebrate you guys for that. So
yes.
Might also have GDC talk at that point, because that is 2 weeks away. So we might be revisiting this conversation in a couple weeks. Like I said, rate us on iTunes, like, subscribe, and share on YouTube. Leave a comment. It really helps with discoverability, especially on iTunes. Also, we're moving podcast services, so you'll be able to see us on Spotify at some point. Also, it takes a little while for Google Play for some reason, so just be aware in within the next month or so, if you start not getting the show, we're not going away. It's just Google trying to update itself. So, yeah, I think that's going to be it. Ed, where can we find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at @ThatRetroCode, and you can check out my podcast, Optional Opinion, on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, and TuneIn, and other podcast apps. So yeah.
Nice. You can find me at CoreyInHD713 on Twitter. You can find me on Twitch and Instagram at CoreyInHD. You can also find me on Nerds Gone Rogue. Please go check out our best of episode. It was
sorry everybody, and also check out ngrradio.com. I'm going to be trying to have the Crackdown 3 review up by the time you see this video, or later on this week. So check that out.
Yeah. Where was I going? Oh, check out our best of video. I know it's kind of long, but I'm kind of proud of how it turned out, and it was a good time. So check out our other podcasts, Arsenal X, our Xbox podcast, Nerds Gone Platinum, our PlayStation podcast, and then our various other games as a service podcasts. You can check those out all on their own YouTube pages, or on youtube.com/NGR Radio, or ngrradio.com. You can find Nintendo Power Block at youtube.com/Nintendo Power Block. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next week, we love you.
Bye everybody. Woo-hoo!